Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host Jared.
And I'm Edwina.
And today we're continuing our once more with filming our Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. Today we are doing The Pack, Season 1, Episode 6, first released on the 7th of April 1997, directed by Bruce Seth Green, written by Matt Kine and Joe Camiria, I think. So we watched this episode the other night, Eddie, and what did you think? Rewatching it.
I actually, this is actually one of the better episodes of this season. To be fair, yeah.
Oh dear.
I definitely used to like this episode a lot more. Like I think back when I first saw it, I definitely liked it a lot more than what I do now.
Okay,
yeah.
So you like this one more than you did the first time you saw it.
Oh no, I don't like it as much as
you don't.
when I
Okay,
first saw it.
Right. For me, no, it's a bit of a snooze fest for me. I got to admit, I was on my phone a bit during this episode. I kind of zoned out. I found it very boring. I didn't like it at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pack mentality, or mob mentality type situations. So. But yeah, it's still a good episode for this season. So yeah, so what were your feelings on this episode?
Yeah, no, my initial, I didn't, just
have you seen this episode?
No, I haven't seen this episode. And if anyone else has started watching this not in order and has just picked this episode up out of no particular reason, it is trying to convince me that Buffy is the greatest TV series of all time. I'm not convinced. I'm still not convinced. I know we're only 6 episodes into this first season, but I've suddenly realised I've got a long, long road ahead of me yet.
And as you know, the first seasons it's rough to get through.
Very rough.
Especially for first time watchers of the show. It's often the roadblock that stops people from realizing what a great show it actually is.
It's funny how you say that. That's a roadblock. Like, shouldn't that sort of suck me in? Shouldn't that convince me or something?
If it was a current TV show, yeah, generally they do try to do that. But, back then it was a show that was still trying to find its footing.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And the other thing was it wasn't it was a filler show. I think this is one of those PSAs.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, public service announcement type episodes. I think they had to start doing a few.
The bullying thing, is that?
Yeah. So
okay.
I think they had to. So in order to get some more funding, there's a few of these PSA type episodes scattered throughout the first season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I wonder. I'm thinking what the praying mantis one was about. Is it alcohol maybe, or don't drink alcohol because you might be eaten by a praying mantis?
Oh no. Well, this is definitely an anti-bullying messaged episode.
Yeah. And it's just so. It's just so forced. They just walk up and they're just absolute pricks to everyone. Hey, Darsh.
Yes, pretty
much. No read. Oh no, I suppose bullies do that,
yeah.
But it just seems, and they're picking on Buffy. You're like, who would pick on her at school? She's absolutely dropped it gorgeous. You're gonna pick on her?
Yeah, and it wasn't like she didn't have any friends. Like she already had sort of made herself a little group of friends, and
girls in the group seemed a little odd as well. Like usually,
also those students are very, very. They seem quite old again, like with the casting.
Yeah.
They look like they're in their 30s.
Almost a prerequisite, really, to be in high school dramas these days, isn't it? Got to be in your 30s or late 20s.
Oh, they're definitely, in their mid to late 20s there.
Is it that hard to get teenagers or kids of that age? I know I suppose the fundamental problem with that is that they age up very quickly, and before you know it, they've changed a lot in those 2 years that they started, but, at least you're being sincere about it, if you're going to have actual kids, be in the show.
Yeah, but also, generally speaking, teenagers kind of are have a gawky, they're gawky and awkward looking.
Yeah.
So you probably want a more refined, older teenager.
Yeah. And maturity probably helps as well. Someone easy to work with and all that sort of things. But I'm sure you could find
and I
someone.
think there's also some laws in America.
Child labour laws, yes,
Yeah.
So anyone under the age of 18 have restricted hours.
Or they age up the child very quickly.
Yeah. Or just write him out completely out of the show. All right.
Oh,
he's too old
what
now.
is it? There was,
it was Walt. I know we spoke about it last episode. It was Walt from Lost. They just completely wrote out. It's
sort of like Big Bang Theory. You never see the kids.
What kids?
Bernadette and I can't remember his name. But they have 2 kids, but you never see the kids.
Right, okay.
Yeah. They're around in the background. You hear them like cry.
Yeah.
But like
are they babies, are they?
Yeah, like they're babies and toddlers.
Oh, okay. But you just never see them.
You never see them. They'll be like folding washing and you'll hear them crying or screaming out mama or something. But it was sort of like that joke with the mother on that TV series. You never saw her. She was just a voice.
Oh, okay. The running joke of that, yeah.
Yeah, and then they carried on after she's died.
It's very clever to do that because then you don't have to save on actors, I guess.
Yes.
Just have them shout out the background.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into it, should we push on with the synopsis?
The synopsis, yes.
Yeah. All right. And here we go. A gang of 4 bullies taunt and terrorize other students, and when a student lands, does not have the courage to tell Principal Flutie what they have done to him, they take him to the hyena house, even though it has been closed. Xander follows to help with him, whereas Willow and Buffy are stopped by a warden. In the hyena house, the hyena's eyes flash as they look at the gang of 4 and Xander. Their eyes flash in return. Xander is now part of the pack, and his behaviours change. He becomes insulting and cruel, especially to Willow. Even more ominous, the school's new mascot piglet Herbert tries to flee when it smells Xander. Giles shows no inclination to believe anything is wrong with Xander except that he is a 16-year-old boy. His attitude changes when the missing Herbert is found dead and eaten. After checking his books, Giles warns that they could be dealing with a case of possession. Buffy runs to find Xander and finds the piglet cage demolished. Xander attacks Buffy, but she knocks him unconscious and locks him in the cage in the library. When Principal Flutie finds the mascot dead, he knows that the original gang of 4 are involved and calls them into his office. There, they kill and eat Principal Flutie. Returning from the teachers' meeting in the library, Giles tells Willow and Buffy about what happened to Principal Flutie. Giles and Buffy go to the zoo warden, who tells them that he is not surprised by the possession and knows about the magic involved, but he is not sure how the students were affected. He hasn't been able to figure out the ritual. Giles supplies the missing information. A predatory act is required, like when the original 4 students tormented the boy. Buffy offers herself as bait to lure them back to the hyena house, where the warden, now in full Maasai ritual attire, is supposed to perform a reverse of the possession spell with Giles' help. Giles realizes that the warden has tried to call the power for himself, but couldn't figure out how until he learned about the predatory act from Giles. The warden then knocks Giles unconscious. Willow reaches the hyena house before Buffy, and the warden ties her up and puts a knife to her throat, telling her it's the predatory act that will trigger the ritual and save the students. Buffy arrives with the others close behind. The pursuing pack knocks her down, and the warden uses his predatory act to shout out a spell that pulls the animal spirits from the 5 students into himself. In the ensuing fight, Buffy knocks the warden into the hyena's pen, where he is eaten. The gang of 4 flees. The next day, out of embarrassment, Xander convincingly lies to Buffy and Willow that he has no memory of being possessed. Giles knows the truth and agrees to keep Xander secret. Roll credits. I actually caught it straight away, didn't you? You asked me what animals are they? I'm like, I don't know, hyenas. I don't know why. I just knew straight away. I just thought, they're going to go with hyenas, I guess. It was the only sort of pack hunter I could think of. And yeah, it was hyenas.
Yeah.
Mystery solved.
Yeah. By the way, that was just the name of the episode. Like what he was.
The Pack was the name of the episode.
And I sort of said, what animal do you think they're going to be talking? What do you think will be the main animal? And you were like, hyenas.
Yeah. Yeah, surprise there.
Was that probably because, high school cliques sometimes act like a pack of hyenas?
Yeah, I guess so. It just seemed the typical thing to pick on. I mean, what else would have been? Dogs or cat. When they're at a zoo, so it's obviously not going to be some domesticated animal.
Yeah,
pack,
but it's also that that hyena laughing.
Yeah.
That teenagers do as well.
Yeah. Or they sound more like galahs sometimes, I think.
Galahs.
We got called galahs.
Oh, pack of glass.
Yeah. Or flock galahs.
Yeah, flock of glass.
Yeah. It's a type of bird.
That make isn't that just when you're making a lot of noise?
Yeah, but it's kind of a cackle laugh sound noise. I think kind of sounds like a lot of people laughing at once. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The acting in this is pretty terrible, especially the four.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling it.
The four actors playing the pack. They are just terrible. They.
Do those characters come back at all?
No, never.
No, never referenced again.
Well, my whole thing, like after watching it this time, I was like, what happened to those four people? Did they get charged with murder? Because they did kill the principal.
And ate him.
And
cleaned the mess too.
And cleaned themselves up pretty quickly after that. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, a bowl of pasta. You know, can you imagine what it'd be like eating a human?
So they eat him alive, yet they don't get a drop of blood on their clothes or their face.
Clean eaters, yes.
They're super clean eaters. But also, like, what would have happened to them after
realizing what they'd done?
Yeah, like realize like the psychological damage that would have happened to them.
I guess that'd be interesting, but yeah.
But yeah, it's never ever brought up ever again.
Well, even with Xander, is that ever brought up about he ate the pig? Or...
Well, we eat pig all the time.
Yeah, but not a live pig. Squealing and thrashing around, no doubt. It would have been quite horrific experience to eat a live pig.
He might not have killed it. Like maybe one of the others killed it. He just ate it.
Yeah.
Just ate a bit of raw bacon.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, they kind of, I don't know, for some of the, like, they sort of look like cats. They sort of act like they're in the musical Cats at sort of one point.
Well,
because it's almost like that over the top kind of movements that belongs on a Broadway stage.
Yeah, and then with the dodgeball scene where they're attacking. Yeah, Buffy's the only one left, but they turn around and attack the guy on their own team.
Yeah, because Buffy's too because they can.
Hyenas will more pick on an easier target
than
a strong threat like what Buffy is.
Yeah.
Doing their research on hyenas, so it's very PSA. You know, we're learning about hyenas. Hyenas will actually learn human names and call them out to lure them out.
Also, they weren't allowed on the. Oh no, I didn't want them on the ark because they look like, because they seemed like a demonic mixture of cat and dog.
Well, they're actually part of the feline family, closely related to weasels and stuff like that. I was reading up about hyenas. Interesting stuff, hyenas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laugh like a hyena.
Yeah, you do. You do. It's always a laugh, isn't it? It's so tacky. So tacky. The villain.
The warden.
Yeah, wasn't much of a villain, I guess.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty terrible. The moment he gets the power, he dies.
Yeah.
He literally dies.
And what was the power of being a hyena?
When there were the hyenas, they're actually quite they were quite strong.
Yeah,
like
because you could overpower her. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like Xander managed to overpower Buffy.
Yeah.
And he was, oh God, he's so rapey in this as well.
Yeah, well, in that synopsis it mentioned how we tried to rape her. I actually left that part out. I just thought it seemed a little too gruesome. I didn't think it was that. I don't know. Maybe I was only sort of half watching it, but I didn't think it was. I know he was on top of her, but I didn't think it was that rapey though. I mean,
but I think it's more an implied rapiness because he decides to after he had eaten the pig, he decides to track. Like he smells her, like he sniffs her down, like he tracks her down.
Yeah.
Because he's after pretty much he wants to mate with her. So that, he has his desires that he wants to fulfill.
Yeah.
And he's just he's so horrible and rapey in this. And he's constantly smelling her, which is really creepy. Like really creepy, the sniffing.
Yeah, he does a bit of smelling in that. There's lots of of smelling, very creepy smelling.
Yeah.
The cage, the library cage that was used first time in this. Apparently, it comes up a lot.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Introduced to that.
I think this is the first time someone gets locked, like that they lock someone in this cage.
Yeah. So does every character at one stage get locked in there virtually? Could you almost say?
Yes. Possibly, yeah.
You think you'd be smart enough to hide a key in there, thinking, I got a feeling I might be in there one day. So if I ever get locked in there, accidentally or intentionally, or I'm a prisoner or some sort.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think Cordelia ever does.
Oh, speaking of which, we missed her in this episode.
Yeah, she wasn't in this one.
Yeah, no Cordelia. No vampires too. Can we mention that? Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Look,
no
that's
vampires?
It's going to happen.
It's happened, like this is like the 5th episode. It's already happened twice. So you could almost say a third of the episodes don't have vampires in them.
Well, it's not just about vampires. That's the whole point.
I know, yeah. Yes. I'm just yanking your chain.
She's just a slayer. She's not necessarily a vampire slayer. She's a slayer.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot more vampires out there than other demonic forces.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's roll into the questions.
Question time.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Answer the question.
Okay.
Bring it on.
Okay. Which character was your favorite?
Oh, you got me. I tried to really prepare myself for these questions, and I guess I'll go with Buffy. Yeah, Buffy's my favorite.
Okay. Which character were you hating on in this episode?
Kind of the hyenas, I think, were kind of annoying. Just the pack,
The
yeah.
actual pack.
Yeah.
I'd have to say I hate Xander in this episode.
No,
He's horrible.
Yeah.
Ugh. What was the most memorable fight scene?
Difficult to fight scene, but when they're attacking the library and Willow's with Xander in the cage and they come flying in through the windows, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I guess that was a
Yeah,
little intense, that one.
Yeah, I would have gone with the Buffy Xander showdown.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of LOL moment.
I guess the dodgeball part is, yeah. You got to remember, like, we don't play dodgeball in Australia. That's a game where...
we do.
No, we don't.
I remember playing dodgeball.
No. What you played was something called poison ball.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, we played poison ball, which is a little different than dodgeball. It's sort of similar, but it's more just you have two people on either end and everyone else in the middle. Where in dodgeball, there's like two teams across from each other.
Okay.
So yeah, it's similar to poison ball, but different. So yeah, dodgeball, you have two teams either side, and you have to throw the ball. And if you catch the ball, I think they're out. But if you hit them with it without them catching it, they're out. And so poison ball was something similar, where if they caught the ball, then they weren't out. But if you hit them with the leg, but then we had these things. If you threw the ball over the top and you caught it, you could call freeze, and then everyone had to freeze, and then you could do that. Or there'd be the thing if you called freeze and they called wiggles, and they could wiggle. Wiggles! Yeah. So poison ball is what we had.
Yeah.
America
so
had
probably
dodgeball.
when the teacher goes, I love this game.
Well, that was going to be my quote.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So who gets the wooden spoon?
I'd say the main villain, the warden guy,
yeah.
was a pretty awful villain. Was only really a villain for the last 3 seconds, and then he was dead. So had virtually no impact on the story.
Pretty much. Well, no, pretty much. He set up the whole he was a bit incompetent, so that's why he gets the wooden spoon.
Yeah, very
he was really
incompetent.
incompetent. He'd set it all up, but didn't actually know what he was doing.
Mm.
And a bunch of kids managed to do his little ritual that he was unable to do.
Yeah, and he's virtually no impact on the story, and then thrown into the pit of hyenas.
Yeah.
Powerful that whole 1 second, and then he was dead.
Yeah, that was definitely a wooden spoon. He definitely deserves a wooden spoon award. Favorite scene?
I guess I'll go with the dodgeball
All right.
thing again. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked when Buffy's trying to explain to Giles that there's something going on and he just doesn't believe her until the pig dies.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite scene?
Yeah, my least favourite scene definitely was the villain walk that the pack did with Xander through the school with that song playing in the background. Although I didn't mind the song was called Far by Job's Eyes. But it just went on forever.
Yeah, it
it
did
just
go on for a
dragged
while.
on. It just went on, and they're just looking at everyone, and and it just kept going. I mean, it's like kind of like that. The what's that witchcraft movie?
Oh yeah, the craft.
Yeah, it's kind of like in The Craft where they have their little villain walk.
Yeah,
But look, it only needs to go for 10 seconds. We get it.
Yeah.
But that just kept going. Oh, yeah, that definitely was it. That took the cake.
Yeah. I'll give you that one for sure. Yeah, I really didn't like a lot of the stuff with Xander and Willow. Especially with I think it's in the dodgeball game, and he hits her with the dodgeball like super, super hard and gets her out. And you can just see like the pain on her face. It's like it cut her so deep. Like she's so upset.
Her little flower, and she
Oh,
just walks
God.
off with a little
But
saddy face.
Oh, but they'd done something with her hair in this episode. Like they'd done that horrible where you pull it back out of you, and it's sort of like what nerds at school would wear their hair.
Yeah.
Like it's that where you pull the front back.
Yeah.
Like no one
yeah.
does it anymore because it
No.
looks awful.
Yeah.
But very big in the 90s.
Mm.
And I have to say I might have worn my hair like that a couple of times.
Whoops.
But yeah, not becoming
Yeah.
on Alison Hannigan. It made her I don't know, sort of made her forehead look really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of made her look extra dorky in this episode.
Yeah, I think they did with the whole bully thing to make her a bit more susceptible, maybe.
Yeah. So and then when he like says that he doesn't want to see her pasty face, and he's just so mean to her.
It wasn't him. He was being possessed.
Yeah, but it was still hard to watch.
Yeah.
All right, favorite quote.
Actually, I got one ready this time, and it came from Coach Harold during the dodgeball scene. God, this game is brutal. I love it.
I have to go with the Buffy quote when she's trying to convince Giles that there's something going on. I cannot believe that you, of all people, are trying to Scully me.
No. If anyone isn't clear on the Scully reference, it's a Dana Scully of X-Files, which was a very popular show at the time.
Yes.
Oh, was it popular at that time? What sort of died off? 97?
No,
Yeah, it was still...
it was still pretty popular.
It was
at
probably
that
its
time.
peak, I'd say, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It was definitely in its peak.
Peak X-Files. Yeah.
And Scully was always the one taking
The
down...
skeptic.
The skeptic taking down Mulder's wild...
Preposterous ideas. You're a knobhead, Mulder.
Pretty much. Oh, some of his conspiracy... but he would go on and on and on about his conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I think he's the reason why we have flat earthers and...
Oh, he'd definitely be up there.
and anti-vaxxers. All right, who gets the MVP of this episode?
I guess Buffy, again. Can't think of anyone else.
Actually, I might give this to Willow.
Willow? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Willow. Just for her little, she was so brave in front of the cage, and she sort of, that's when she realized that it's not really Xander and that he was possessed.
Mm. Yeah.
So, she was pretty tough there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She showed some resilience.
Yeah.
What do you rate this episode out of 10? And using something from the show.
Can I say 2 slaughtered pigs? Slaughtered Harold, what was his name? The piglet? Herbert the piglet?
I will go, 5 dodgeballs.
5 dodgeballs. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Of course. Yeah, well, was there anything else you wanted to add? Wasn't a particularly good episode, this, was it? No.
This is, I think this is an all right episode. It's all right.
That's all right.
By the way, it's, as episodes of television go, it's still better than some episodes of television I've seen.
Yeah. Thinking of new Punky Brewster. Awful. Awful.
I still haven't worked out who the audience is for these shows.
Anyone who can watch it. I think that wraps it up for this week, Eddie. You got nothing more to say about this episode
No.
6, season 1, Buffy the Vampire Slayer? We are Nerd Subculture.
Subculture.
If you listen to this, you are Nerd Subculture. Are you? Well, let's find out. Like, subscribe, share, download, upload onto Pirate Bay, and share it to everyone for free. It's for free anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Grr arg.
Bye.
Bye.